Greetings, Quester, and welcome to Tiny Meeples' Big Talk with Matt and Richard.
So on this Tiny Meeples Big Talk, we are going to be discussing another important question. Now, the basis for this is the fact that, well, the cat from Red Dwarf had his single in 1993, Tongue Tied.
Why do you make me tongue-tied? Tongue-tied whenever you are near me. Tongue-tied.
Did he actually release that?
Yeah, as a single.
I thought it was just in his dream.
Well, it was in Parallel Universe, wasn't it? Which was episode 6 of season 2. But
Okay.
he released it as an actual single, and it reached number 17 in the UK charts.
He could.
So well done, Cat.
Shane was 3 million light years away from Earth at the time.
Then you've got Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock.
Yes, with his Bilbo song.
The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins, he's only 3 feet tall. Bilbo Baggins, the bravest little hobbit of them all.
Yes.
Bravest little hobbit of them all.
And you're counting that as being Spock, aren't
I'm
you?
counting it as being Spock, and I'll tell you why I'm going to count that as being Spock. The fact that in the music video, he's got Spock's hair because he was doing... It was 1967, and he was shooting season 2 of Star Trek.
In the middle of the earth, in the land of Shire, lives a brave little hobbit whom we all admire.
So what's become the music video was basically like an appearance on a show, but he's still got that Spock hairstyle, and he just looks like Spock in casual clothes.
He does, yeah. So,
And I just love the idea of Spock singing about Bilbo.
yeah. Well, Spock did do music in Star Trek, didn't he, sometimes?
Yeah.
Like that at the time when they picked up a load of space hippies and and Spock like got on with them really well, but and they all hated Kirk because he loved the rules. So,
And then, of course, there is a Klingon heavy metal band called Stovercore.
okay, so that's not actually Star Trek characters doing it, but it's
people dressed up as Klingons singing in Klingonese.
that's
At
enough
times
for
singing
me.
about
Yeah.
Kronos and things like that.
But you can't get more Klingon than that, really.
Yeah.
Can you? So yeah,
And
I
it
would
is
say that's
pretty hardcore metal, so, you know.
which is what they would be into.
Yeah.
It's what Kalis would listen to.
It is, and this is what we thought we'd do. What for our big talk this week? What other characters, not the actors or actresses that play them, but what characters would be releasing or performing music in the real world, and what genre would they be?
Yes, it was mostly about what genre it would be. It's hard to. I would think it would be like original music, so they would like make their own kind of song, wouldn't they? But yeah, I was thinking about what kind of song they might play, and I kind of realised that a lot of characters, especially if I think about other ones that are from Star Trek, a lot of them do kind of express some kind of fondness for particular music, or they
Like
play
Riker
music.
with his jazz.
Trombone, anything with a trombone, yeah, which I understand he's not great at, but then he gets better as he goes along, doesn't it? So,
I have to admit, you know, the only reason I found out about Stovercore
yeah.
was because the band, not the place, was because I tried to find, you know, when you like
Was it
sometimes
when you
watching...
died with honour and went there?
Yeah. Or you know when you're watching Next Generation or Deep Space Nine and Worf's talking about his Klingon operas, and there are some times where you see him listening to his Klingon operas, and I always think they sound really like cool and dark and foreboding and impressive.
They sound
So
weird,
I
yeah.
tried to find them online. I thought maybe someone's like grouped them all together or something in like an online
Dax,
video.
she did it.
Yeah.
She borrowed them all.
And anyway, in searching for that, that's how I found Stovercore. So, but yeah, there are definite characters in there that like particular kinds of music. But it was kind
Yeah.
of thinking what they do. So, for example, I was thinking of Marvin from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Right.
and if he was releasing some sort of single or an album, it's
Can't
going to be
imagine him having the
emo.
motivation. Yeah, it would be emo.
It would-
Yeah. Android for my Valentine.
But you can definitely see, because I mean, he'd definitely be doing something that would be really, really depressive.
It would be dark.
You know,
yeah.
something that would make Radiohead sound happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd basically be like No Surprise or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I imagine he would do something like that. Yeah. So some of the other ones that have expressed what kind of music they like. A lot of them tend to like jazz, don't they? I've found that's especially in Star Trek. You think because they were always at that in Deep Space Nine. They were always at that like swing bar, weren't they? In the holodeck. And
Vic Fontaine's.
Yeah, Vic Fontaine's one. Yeah, and they did that song at the end of one of the seasons, didn't they? So yeah,
where Cisco got up and sang.
Yeah, I think Cisco would definitely do that kind of thing. I know Avery Brooks does. So, yeah. But we're talking about Cisco this time. So yeah.
But yeah, there's different characters. I was thinking as well. Beast from the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see him doing a bit of thrash metal, can't you?
Yeah. Well, with him being like Kelsey Grammer, you think kind of like operatic kind of thing or something kind of classical. But if it's actually Beast, then it would be thrash.
He's blue. He's furry. He's going to be doing some sort of thrash metal, definitely.
But there'd be some Latin in the lyrics or something.
I was also thinking Wolverine. He'd probably be doing some. I can see Wolverine doing some sort of punk rock. And I'll tell you why I can see him doing some punk rock. Well, most punk rock guitarists like to smash up their guitar, but they need something to do it with, so they'll like grab their guitar
it into the amp.
and like smash it into the amp or something like that. Wolverine will just literally shred his guitar.
Yeah, you got to do shredding literally. Well, punk rockers don't normally shred, but yeah, he can just
Wolverine
he
would.
can just play it, and then at the end just throw it up, and as it's coming down, just like slash it into a few bits. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be a lot of fun to watch him do that, wouldn't he? He wouldn't need anything to smash it against. He'd be smashing it against himself.
Yeah, so that is a good aspect.
Deadpool would be doing a rap somewhere.
He would, yeah, about being Captain Deadpool, no, just Deadpool. Yeah, that would be cool.
The other one I was thinking of, I think Swamp Thing would do classic rock. And I'll tell you why I think he'd do classic rock.
Mm-hmm.
Because then he'd do a cover of the Trucks. Swamp Thing, down, down,
Yeah.
down, down.
Actually, that is what I mostly think of when I think of Swamp Thing. So yeah, he could play his own theme, basically, couldn't he? And I bet it would sell. So yeah.
The other thing I was thinking of, think about Magneto. I mean, we're talking about a lot of comic characters here, but we'll move on from that in a minute. Magneto, in like a hard rock band. Think how many guitars he could play at once.
Yeah, because basically you're just kind of vibrating the metal strings, aren't you? And yeah, if you really concentrated, you could play them all at once. Yeah,
It could be like a one-man opera show.
Yeah,
It'd be brilliant to watch him on stage, just guitars just swirling around him.
Yeah,
Shredding away.
It'd be pretty scary to be there, though, wouldn't it? I mean, you could just decide to kill the audience or something.
Well, if they hate mutants, then yes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but he's not too keen on humans, is he, really? People that aren't mutants.
I was thinking as well, you could have another. This is another comic characters, but like Banshee and Black Canary. I know we're talking different comic universes, but yeah, some sort of operatic voice
beyond the range of human hearing.
Really powerful cries, or some sort of like really heavy power metal. Like Judas Priest.
Yeah.
You think about songs like Painkiller, those sort of high-powered, really high-pitched notes. They'd ace them with their special.
They would.
Cries.
Yeah. Again, you'd have to be careful where they actually perform. But yeah, if they release a single, that was just that. I mean, dogs would hear it.
I was thinking Darth Vader could do like a cover album, but like metal it up a bit, but do like the Darth Side of the Moon.
Darth Side. Yeah.
So the dark side of the moon.
Puns. Yeah.
But just for puns. But I was just thinking, he's not got much in the way of lung capacity anymore, has he?
Well,
he's quite
famously
wheezy.
he hasn't. No.
Famously so. But I bet he could do like a real throaty sort of growl.
He could.
Like a real like doom metal type growl.
I can imagine him just being at the back on synths.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the like
The
Emperor's at the front just belting out a song. Yeah.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking was, what would the Cylons play from Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
Some sort of techno, maybe?
Yeah, they would definitely be on techno as well. Because if they just did the vocals themselves, it would just sound like a voice synthesizer. So there'd just be a load of music and then them just going, by your command. Random times.
Yeah. They could have like the Cylon Boomer and 6 at the front and...
Yeah, just all the skin jobs there at the front.
Yeah, just to give it a bit of a human element to it as well.
Yeah, it could be like but well, the Sauron's like from throughout the ages, each doing different jobs in the band. Yeah, I think that would work.
With
really well.
Boltar at the back at drums.
Boltar's just imprisoned somewhere off the side.
What about the Xenomorph? Now, I was thinking about this. What kind of music would a Xenomorph perform? And
I have to admit, I didn't think of them as being possible people that could release a single. I don't know why.
Well, there's a lot of people in the charts that I didn't think of being possible people that could release a single. So let's not be speciesist here, Richard. This is a speciesist safe zone.
A safe space, okay.
But not from a Xenomorph. But I was thinking a Xenomorph. My first thought would be, well, it's really dark. It's probably going to be metal.
My blood is acid. Something like that.
Yeah, but then I thought, let's just wild card here. Go with it. Pop music. A Xenomorph as a pop star.
Yeah, well, they're pretty skinny, aren't they?
They're Beachbody ready.
Yeah.
But no, I was thinking, because you see stories in the news about how, like, Justin Bieber's spat on his fans from high up.
Oh, a Xenomorph would just burn through everybody.
A Xenomorph spitting on his fans would just be even worse, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And he is badly enough behaved that you could imagine him as, like, an out-of-control pop star.
I don't imagine the Xenomorph so much from the music side of it, but I can imagine them just acting badly and being in the tabloids all the time, just causing scandals.
Well, it's just like the front actor. It's kind of like when Phoebe Buffay on Friends got a single with Smelly Cat, and she was just like the front person. There was someone else doing the music. It'd just be a Xenomorph spitting on people, you know, in the music videos and at the concerts, and somebody else in the background singing.
Yeah, so somebody else like writes it for him.
Because that's basically how the pop industry works. I mean, none of them have got any talent.
Okay, right, we're getting into
Matt's
some
going
stuff
into a
now.
dark place.
Yeah, you need to listen to some of your Paranoid Android music.
And then you've got like Thor. Thor, you could definitely see him as
music
like
of the gods.
New wave of British heavy metal or Scandinavian metal.
Yeah, I think just Scandinavian
Headbanging,
metal.
just him there at the front with one hammer in the air, headbanging, his massive hair flying all over the place.
Yeah, maybe. It seems to be more like his looks seem to be more like, and just the fact that he's like a lot of metal bands like to have like a Viking kind of. So I feel like he would fall into that niche pretty quick, even if he tried to do a different type of music.
Yeah.
I think all the producers and everything would get him going down the metal route. He's like, no, I just want to do ballads and sit on a stool.
I was thinking as well. Do you remember for Red Nose? I'm sure it was for Red Nose Day a couple of years ago. Game of Thrones cast did some stuff.
Yeah, you showed me that with Chris Martin.
Yeah, and I really loved the Still Going Strong bit they did with Peter
Tyrion.
Dinklage for
Yeah,
Tyrion.
that was
And I was
cool.
just thinking, imagine Tyrion as a lounge singer.
Yeah.
Doing like some sort of like smooth jazz, you know, coffee in one hand or a whiskey or something like that, and you'll have like a cigar or something in the other hand. It's like a nice smoky
It's like when
environment.
Stewie was showing how everybody had to be cool. He's doing Rocket Man just sitting on his stool. Yeah.
But you could definitely see Tyrion in that kind of environment, can't you? You know, if the global power pit fails, he's got a career.
But it would be the goblet of wine and the jug of wine at the side. Keep pouring some out. Yeah.
But yeah, Peter Dinklage, if you make that kind of album, we would probably listen to it.
Yeah, 2 people at least.
Yeah? So there's an audience. Arwen.
Arwen, some elvish stuff. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking she could do like a real medieval type style music, because there's groups like the Medieval Babes. I don't know if you're familiar with those. It's like a group of female vocalists who do sort of like all that kind of medieval type flute music, and they do some really good stuff. But there's also like the Celtic Women, which is like a group of like Irish Scottish singers who do Celtic style songs. I could see Arwen doing something like that.
I imagine it sounding a bit like Enya if she did something like those kind of like floaty.
Is that because like Enya did the Lord of the Rings soundtrack? Do you think?
No, it's because it's just when I just think of her being in a forest, like singing that kind of stuff. That's what I think of.
You think Enya? Yeah,
well,
okay.
And you did the album called The Celts as well, and that seems to fit in with that. Kind of thing.
Definitely. Psylocke. I was thinking Psylocke would be doing something classical. I can just see her there with a piano. I don't know why I'm saying that, but
it seems like she was pushed pretty hard by her parents, so she probably learned a lot of piano when she was young.
Yeah.
maybe.
I can
don't know.
definitely see Psylocke on a piano.
Yeah, and a bit like Magneto, could probably play the piano without being near it. Like he should play the piano the way he plays guitar.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Just a couple more came to mind here. Carter from SG-1.
Right, so going back into the sci-fi.
Back to the
She
sci-fi.
releases. Well, I think she'd like release something in binary or something.
Well, yeah, you're thinking the humans are dead.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Binary solo.
Yeah, something very techno, I think, with her.
Funny, I kind of saw her doing something country. I kind of see her singing, maybe a song like Daniel's Dead for the Fifth Time, or, When Your Archaeologist Goes Off, or songs
when you're
about
in love
her.
with a general and you can't tell anything.
Exactly, those kind of songs. They've all sound very country. And, if Amanda Tapping wants to put an album out, I would listen to it.
So we're talking about an Amanda Tapping now, not Carter.
Well, ask Carter.
Okay. So
Amanda Tapping, if you put on the uniform and do the album, we will.
Stop asking people to put on uniforms.
No, but Amanda Tapping is just a wonderful person. I just think that would be great, whether it was her or Sam. But she could definitely do some good country.
Yeah, okay.
And
Carter.
same way, I kind of had like a country album in mind for the Firefly Girls.
Well, it would definitely have to be country, wouldn't it? I was thinking about the whole darn crew of Serenity, basically, doing an album. Yeah, it would have to be very kind of Western style, wouldn't it? But with kind of Chinese kind of like undertones in there as well, just to make it in keeping with the series.
Yeah.
Just because it's such a strong kind of theme, isn't it? So, yeah, it would have to be something like that.
So I could definitely see them doing something like that, and I think like having the whole crew would be a lot of people, but it does mean that they could do the Jane song.
No, I just meant it's anybody. It doesn't have to be the Firefly Girls. Like, it could be like you could pick any random four of them to form a band, basically. But yeah,
Like
Jane would,
Mel and Zoe and
whoever was in it. Yeah, if Jane was there, he'd definitely want to sing the hero of Canton, the man they call me.
Well, if he's not in the band, I can imagine Jane rocking out to the band.
Yeah, I think he'd like it. Yeah.
Jane would probably be there as security.
Yeah, but you'd just throw everybody out or something. Yeah, start a fight. Yeah, or forget.
Yeah. But what about... I've not really given this much thought, but what about Major? What kind of music can you see Major Motoko coming out with from Ghost in the Shell?
That would have to be techno stuff, wouldn't it, really? But they... like in Standalone Complex, they definitely kind of get into some quite old stuff from the 20th century. So I don't know, I think either techno or kind of classic alt rock kind of thing. It would have to be something a little bit different, whatever it was, because she doesn't tend to like to be categorised.
Yeah, I could go with that. What about Chewbacca? What kind of music would Chewbacca do you think?
Chewbacca.
Is this just turning into now me quizzing Richard on his thoughts?
It would just be him on the bongos going... Sorry.
Bongo, bongo, bongo.
Yeah, with Han going, what are you doing? Well, Chewbacca can make whatever music he wants, basically.
Yeah, no one's going to complain because he'll just rip their arms off.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. What did you think about Chewbacca's music?
I was thinking some sort of drum solo. I can just imagine him just going whacking like drums. You know,
similar thought,
definitely
really.
something like that. But what about Batman?
Batman.
Also, I mean, we're not talking about the Batman videos, the Batman metal videos that people have made, the animated stuff.
No, not that kind
But
of stuff.
I can still see him doing some sort of metal.
I think it would be metal kind of thing. I think he knows a lot about classical music and stuff just from his Bruce Wayne upbringing.
So maybe something like neoclassical metal, or
metal, but where like it's so technically proficient, like Ingrid Malmsteen, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, really fast.
Malmsteen or Nightwish, that kind of style.
Yeah,
classical elements. Yeah.
I don't mean like it have violins in it. I just mean it would be metal. That like shifts through a few different keys and things like that. It would be very cerebral, I think. Just because it's Batman.
So, who else do you think? Any other thoughts? What are those thoughts?
I was, I was mostly thinking of like different people from sci-fi more than anything. I think we've kind of covered most of the ones I was thinking of.
My mind kind of, for some reason, went quite in the comic book direction. And I think that's partly because I've been reading a lot of comic books, and partly of late, and partly because... or graphic novels I've been reading, should I say. And
That's
partly
just a
because
whole bunch of comics put
I've
together.
still got a lot of like the characters in my head
Not
from
just.
our last Tiny Meeples Big Talk, which was the worst worst comic book characters to work with in...
Well, Dog Welder would make the worst album ever, I suppose.
The Dog Welder's album would just be dogs crying out in pain while they're being welded to people's faces, like
Yeah, I think
barks
so.
of the underworld or something like that.
We can't just go on about him on every Tiny Meeples Big Talk.
No, I disagree. I think
I think we should.
I think no matter what the subject is, we can always come back to Dog Welder.
He's sponsored
because
by him.
I think we have to remember the horrors of Dog Welder, or we'll make the same mistakes again,
We'll
Richard.
be cursed to repeat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what I've been reading recently is Leviathan Wakes, the first
Right.
book of The Expanse, which I'm going to talk about next in Tone Talk. And
Sneak preview.
a few people might have been watching The Expanse on Netflix, and I think Miller from that. He's a proper like hardboiled detective in space. I think he'd be into like blues type stuff, but obviously very kind of probably using some kind of futuristic instruments and stuff. But you know, whatever's depressing after a hard day on a depressing case when you're on an asteroid.
So we've gone through quite a few different options of what we think, who we think should be making music and what kind of music they would be making. And I think we've got plenty there to get swifty to.
We have, yeah. I mean, the reason we didn't mention Rick is that he already did his song.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And to be honest, I would probably have mentioned Red Dwarf if it wasn't for the fact that the Cat's already done a single.
Yeah, but there is as well, which is a classic, obviously.
So there we go. So what do you think? Who out of fiction, whether it be comic book character, sci-fi character, fantasy, etc., who do you think, or who can you imagine seeing release an album or a single, a music video? What kind of music would it be and why? What are those thoughts? We want to know. Drop us a message. Let us know.
And even if you can't imagine something, can you imagine what it might be like if you could?
Well, there we are.
Yeah, okay.
Farewell, Quester. To find out about other productions by the Meddlesome Meeples, then check out our channel or rendezvous with us at meddlesomemeeples.com. Until next time, Quester, farewell and keep thine axe sharp.